Hello, Sunshine Stamper here, and today I am going to attempt to make my first ever process video for Craft Roulette. I've been doing Craft Roulette for a few months now, really enjoy it. It's a fun challenge. It gets me making something different and new every week, and I've really had a lot of fun playing along, so I figured, you know what, I'm going to give this a try. So our parameters for this week, the first one, the project, card for friend. That one, super easy parameter. I am going to send this card to a friend later this year, so we can check that one off. Colors, bright colors. Poppy from Concord 9th, one of the brightest colors that I think I own. It's a really rich, juicy color, so that's very bright. We got pink lemonade, and I've got this bright red glitter paper. That's actually from the Dollar Tree. So we've got our bright colors down. Our element is happy. So for my main focal point, I am going to use this Jolly St. Nick's stencil set from Concord 9th. And let's see if the camera catches this. Look how happy Santa looks. I think that checks off the happy. And then for random, we have a partial image. So how we're going to cover that one is when I go to stencil my Santa, he does not fit all the way on my base layer. So we are going to have a partial Santa head. Don't worry, it's not going to hurt him any. He'll be okay. It's just going to be a cosmetic chopping of his head. He'll be fine. All right, so let's get started. Now, my goal with this card is I want to make it as flat as possible. So I am going to have a glitter layer on top of my card base, and then I'm going to have this layer, but I'm going to try to make my image completely flat on this layer to keep my card flatter so it's easier to mail to my friend. And we're going to make things even more complicated for attempting this for the first time. I have not yet successfully used this stencil set, so it's going to be a learning experience. And there's two different stencils here. So it has this striped stencil that I really like for the background, and then it has the Santa head mask. So I want to make this one layer. I don't want to die cut my Santa head. So what I'm going to attempt to do is I'm going to attempt to stencil in my stripes with my Santa head mask on top of it, and we're gonna see how that goes. So I've got my stripe layer down, stuck to my sticky mat on my little stencil station, and then I've got my Santa head. And I'm okay with chopping more of his beard than I am chopping his hat. I'm okay with him having, you know, a shorter beard. I think that's in style now, right? A short beard. Well, my Santa's going to have a shorter beard. But I just want to try to get this on here straight, so when I stencil these lines underneath him, those lines are as straight as possible. We have a lot of white spaces. Alright, and I don't know, I think that's, I'll do it just a little bit fiddly right here while I position things the way I want them. I think that's good. We've got, you know, most of his hat in there. Cutting off his beard for our partial image. But other than that, he is mostly intact. And what I'm going to do, even though I'm using a sticky mat, I'm going to tape down this top stencil because, as you can see, it moves around because it's not really coming in contact with the stickiness due to the stencil underneath. And we're also going to be kind of careful here because I don't think I cleaned off my sticky mat the last time I used it. I'm trying not to bleed red on things. I'm already seeing a little bit of red. Alright, let's take this side down. Take this side down. We're going to tape this side down. And now, as if this is not complex enough for me, I also want to kind of do like a gradient where I want this side to be lighter than this side. So I'm going to start my pink lemonade up in this corner, and then I am going to do Poppy. So we're going to lead in with the pink lemonade, and then we're going to switch over to Poppy for the rest of it. So nice complex card, yay. Such a fun thing to attempt on a video, right? All right, let's get started. Let's do this. And then actually looking at this, make sure my tape's not covering over here. I don't want to lose, I don't want to have a little white space there. So I'm starting with the pink lemonade. Now pink lemonade is going to be a lot softer than the poppy. And when we put down the poppy, because poppy is such a bright, bold, etchy color, it's going to make the pink lemonade look even lighter. So I am going kind of heavy with my pink lemonade right now. That way we don't have to go back and add another layer of pink lemonade. And the next decision to make is where I want my gradient to start. I was thinking about starting it on that side, but I think, yeah, actually I think we are going to start it like right along the edge of his head, but we're going to cover all this with the pink lemonade first, just in case. Okay, we've got our base layer of pink lemonade down. We're going to move our pink lemonade out of the way. We're going to move into the poppy. This color can be a bit messy. It's very, very saturated, very juicy. Sometimes I try not to use it just because of how juicy it is, even though I really love how it looks. We're going in down here and get all this over in here. And you can see how bright red this poppy is. The poppy pops. We'll say that, right? The poppy pops. I'm going to get over here. And we're going to start coming up this way. And then we're going to tone it down a bit. That's going to be where just a little bit of that blending, just to give it, you know, a little bit of interest. I mean, we're coming up a lot of it with the Santa head, but just so it's not completely flat on that layer. All right, we have used the poppy. Are we ready for the big reveal? Actually, no, we're not, because I want to get this corner a little better. Let me make sure I don't see any white spots. All right, so we're gonna do the big reveal. Hope you're ready. Hope I'm ready. Let's hope this came out the way I intended it to. And let's see how it looks. Oh, look at that. We have got the outline of a Santa head. I smudged a little there, but I think as it dries, it's not going to be that apparent. I think we'll be okay. I don't think we need to start over. Instead, we're going to go on to the next layer of his face. All right, and I've already got poppy on other stuff over here. It's too funny. And that poppy, it's a beautiful color. It's just a bit much. All right. What I'm doing is there's little marks here. I'm pretty sure these are the ears. So I'm going to use the ears as my anchor point for my stencil. And this is going to be his face. We're going to go in with nectar on the base layer of his face. My nectar pad's a little dirty. I reorganized my craft room a couple months ago, and one of the casualties was when I was moving my ink, my stand full of Concord 9th inks fell on the ground. And of course, you know, there were cats over there investigating. I was there crying. It was a scene. It was emotional. We have recovered. I got the paw prints washed off the floor. The ink pads are back together where they belong. But I am finding some of these ink pads that I haven't really used since then. I'm finding a little bit of cat fur on. A little bit of kitty glitter. All right, so I think we've got his face nice and dark now. That's a good base layer for his face. And look, we've got more poppy on there. And honestly, okay, let's see if I could what can I do about this quickly? Let's see, I think I got my chamois here. The problem is if I get too close to my Santa, the paper will get wet, but we're gonna try to get some of this extra red off. That poppy, it is a color, that is for sure. All right, and then I'm just gonna, that's not how I usually clean my stencil. I use alcohol to clean my stencils, but we're just getting that extra bit off so we don't smudge poppy on like Santa's beard or something. And I'm sorry, I think I was kind of out of frame for that. Like I said, first process video, there's going to be mistakes. There's going to be stuff I do wrong. It's going to be funny to watch later. Okay, just blew a piece of cat fur off of Santa. Santa is a cat lover, in case you did not know that. Okay, now I'm trying to, these are his cheeks. So I'm trying to line his cheeks up with the bottom of his little face. And then I'm trying to line the hat up with this hole up here. And it's a little difficult, to be honest. If I had die cut my base piece and made this multiple layers, it would have been easier, but no, I wanted to do things the hard way. So we're gonna go in with some pink lemonade for his cheeks. We're gonna live dangerously. I'm not gonna mask things off. We're just gonna roll with it because his hat's gonna be red. If I accidentally overblend and get some pink before we put down the poppy, I don't think it's gonna be that visible later. It'll be interesting to see how this turns out. I tried to watch the instructor video on the Concord 9th website, but I'll be honest, I lost interest. But these were the colors she was using. I fast forwarded far enough to see what color she used. So. All right, Poppy, our old friend, our messy friend. All right, let's do this. Going in. It's gonna be interesting to see how we tell where the like fuzzy ball in his hat is, because we did this in a white background. Well, we'll figure it out later. All right, we've got the Santa hat in there, done in Poppy. Move that Poppy where it can't hurt anyone. Move that stencil aside. Okay, this is our last layering stencil here. And this has his nose, inside of his ears, and that little shading by his head. I already feel like by not doing this in the die cut, some of these layers are going to look a little lost on here. But you know what? We're committed. We're rolling with it. Okay, move that Poppy brush over so the Poppy brush can't hurt anyone. And then in her video, I am pretty sure she used the pink lemonade layered on top of the nectar. So we're gonna do it for the shadows. So this is like the shadow of his ear, the shadow of his forehead, a little nose. Going in kind of tough here, trying to get a good layer of it on. I did my nectar layer probably a little harsher than I should have, but whatever. I will send this to one of my friends who will think it's beautiful, no matter what Santa looks like. All right, so look, now we've got the little band up there. And finally, our last layer here is his eyes and his mustache. And I don't know if, so it has some etching marks where you theoretically could line it up, but because I didn't use the whole piece of paper, I don't think the etching marks are going to line up for me. So what I'm doing instead is I am lining up his mustache with his nose. And then, I don't even know what color she used for the eyes. I don't want to use the black. We're going to use cobblestone for his eyes. My black is a pigment black. And I just feel like that's bad things waiting to happen. We'll see how this comes out. I'm going there kind of heavy with the cobblestone. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to pull out my jet black from Altenew. My jet black from Altenew is a dye-based ink versus the pigment-based ink. And then for the shadow of his mustache, I think we're going to just do it. We're going to do it in this. And then we're going to put the lid on here. And then I am going to just reach out of frame for a second as I grab my trusty Altenew ink. And we're going to hope that my black is where it belongs. Yes, it is. Okay, very good. See, I put my supplies away last time I used them. Now I can find everything quickly. Go in there. New little eyeballs. Now Santa could see all the horrible things that are happening to him. All right. So let's see. We're going to do the grand reveal here. How does our happy Santa look? Let's see. Oh, he looks happy. Woohoo! That is a success. Okay, so I am going to take him off the sticky mat, and I do it like this. That way I don't like bend my paper at all. I just push him off the sticky mat. and that'll keep it from like scuffing your paper or anything. Put the sticky mat aside. We're going to pull out the stamp wheel, and we're going to do a sentiment. So let's see. Oh, and I smudged him, but you know what? Let's try this. This is just a little motorized eraser. Usually if the smudge is light enough, this will be enough to take it off. And I like this eraser because it is rechargeable. So I don't have to worry about buying batteries. I just plug it into a USB port on my computer. Come on, get the last little bit off. Okay, that's good enough. I'm going to take a baby wipe. I'm going to wipe my hands real quick so we could try to avoid any more smudges. Because that poppy, it gets everywhere. Although that wasn't poppy that I smudged on him. That was my jet black. I'm going to take this. I'm going to try to wipe those shavings off. See, I told you something would go wrong. I probably should have taken him off the stamp wheel. I'll have to clean the stamp wheel off a little bit better later, but we're moving on. We're rolling with it. We're almost done here. A couple more layers, then we get to glue it together. So now, our sentiment. We got Let's Be Jolly. I like the Merry Christmas, actually. I think I really like the Merry Christmas in his beard. Well, we can do Ho Ho Ho. Merry Christmas, and we'll do it over that splotch we created. And as this dries, this ink should even out quite a bit as it dries. The Concord 9th ink, it's not quite as even as the Altenew inks end up being, but it is pretty good. See, I want to try to cover that, but I don't want to make it obvious that I'm hiding something. You do it just like that. And again, I do think we lost a little by not going an extra layer for the Santa. But I'm going to fix that in post-production before I post a picture of this and show you how I fixed it. Because my fine liners are in a different room. I've been doing some sketching classes at night, and I do those on the couch while I'm watching TV with the family. So my little pencil bag with all my sketch stuff in it's in the other room. So we're going to finish this video, glue this together, and then I'll go back in and try to add some details. Okay, Merry Christmas again. Did this in Poppy because why not? Oh, and it's a little messy. This is a new stamp set. I did not run the conditioner over it. I probably should have, but that's what happens when I try to skip steps to make the video shorter. I just took my chamois, I wiped that down. So that's cat fur. I know that's cat fur. Yep, that was cat fur. Yeah, we didn't even have a cat cameo today. Still got the cat fur. It's gonna be a messy Santa. If it bothers me too much, there is a die that comes with the set that has like a word bubble over it. And I would die cut the word bubble and just layer that on top, but I don't think it's going to bother me that much. There we go. Merry Christmas. And I am going to chamois this off because that red is just like so in your face. Like it's a beautiful color, but man, is it a pain in the butt to use. I just don't want it going everywhere while we're working. Okay, that's enough boring stuff. Let's move that over. Let's work on our card base while that dries a little. Got my baby wipe again. Try to get some of this poppy ink off my hands. That is the danger of working with poppy. Like I even managed to get poppy ink on the bottom of the ink pad. Like this poppy, it goes everywhere. It wants to be seen. It says, I am bright, I am here, you are going to see me, and I'm going to get on everything you own. All right. So now, I've got my pre-made card base. I've got my red sparkly layer. This is from the dollar store. It's usually in the school supply section. And it's got adhesive on it. So look, just pull that off. And theoretically it should stick. Sometimes the dollar store stuff doesn't, behave ideally. And we're going down crooked, so we're going to pull that back up. Actually, we're going to try from this side in. Let's line up on this side in. There we go. There's a little bit at the top. There is a way to cheat and fix that. I will show you the cheater way to fix that. We are going to take our cutter here and we're going to decisively, evenly, just cut a little smidge off the top and nobody will know it's missing. Now, oh look, there's no white. I lined it up perfectly. Ha ha ha, right? All right, put my cutter aside. Oh, the Santa, I think those words still aren't the driest. But you know what, we're gonna do this. He's gonna go just like that. I'm not that happy with the Merry Christmas. When I do the touch-up details, we'll see, I might cover that Merry Christmas up with something else before I post my final card, but I think this video gives you a good idea of my process. I'm using glue on this because the dollar store glitter paper, I've noticed sometimes the tape doesn't want to stick, and I am an over-adheser. I like to make sure everything is like really glued and there's glue seeping out the sides and it gets messy on my fingers. It really makes the glue more fun to use when you do it like that. All right, here we go. And there we have them. That is our craft roulette card for this week. So again, the parameters for a friend. I will be giving this to a friend. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure I'm like in frame here. Santa will go to a friend. We have that bright, bright poppy that's all over my fingers, probably on the cap by now, a little smudged everywhere. We've got the poppy, very bright. Happy is the element. Santa is a happy camper. Even if he's a little smudged, he's still a happy guy. And then the partial image, we've cut off some of his beard. I told you it wouldn't hurt him. We've cut off some of his hat, some of the little ball, and honestly, we're also missing his body, so he's partial in quite a few ways. So that is our finished project. Yay, craft roulette card done. I'm going to do a couple touch-ups, then I'm going to post my picture online, and maybe I'll do this again next week. We'll see. Thank you for watching.